Hey everyone, welcome to Queerly Recommended, the podcast where we recommend queer books, films, TV shows, and more. I'm Tara Scott, and I review sapphic fiction at the Lesbian Review and Smart Bitches Trashy Books. And this week, I'm recommending a new sapphic romance.
And I'm Kris Bryant, a contemporary romance writer for Bold Strokes Books. And this week, I am also recommending a new sapphic romance.
Woo! All right, Kris, what is new with you? It's a new year?
It is. It's a new year. We have, I'm trying to have a positive, a spin to this year, but I mean, it's downward
Holy
spiral. I mean,
shit. The
Jesus.
world is not helping with that.
Yeah, this whole, I'm gonna start the new year. We're gonna be positive, and then, nope, the fuck you're not.
Yeah,
You're
nine
not.
terrible
You're
things
not.
happened in the
Yeah.
first week or whatever. Yeah.
Right. So, yes. So I am again barely hanging on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the publishing company reached out and said, "Hey, are we going to get a book from you?" I'm like, "I don't know. Can we fix the world? Can we fix the
Mm-hmm.
world?" Yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
have to get back to them on that. But also, in some good news, I am doing Readout the first weekend in February down in Gulfport.
What is that? I say for other people who don't know.
So Readout is it's a festival of LGBTQ literature.
Love.
And this is the ninth event, the ninth year. First time I got invited. I'm pretty excited. So I'm going to go there and be on a couple panels and talk about amazing sapphic and queer literature that I write.
Nice. So yeah, if you're in Florida or can make it to Florida, I've heard nothing but excellent things about
Right,
it. That it's just
same.
like it's a little, I guess it's like a little smaller, but like super vibrant. I guess that like the vibes are wonderful. I'm a little
I'm very
jealous.
excited. I hope that you are, because I really need you to be jealous again to come and do something again. But also, I know the political climate is shitty here.
I
So stay
will at
safe.
some point, but yeah, things need to get better. Especially since they said they're going to be checking social media profiles of people from other countries as they come in. I just don't think it's a good idea for me. But
Yeah, I
hey,
know.
Zoom is a beautiful thing.
It is.
It's what's kept this podcast going for six
I know.
years.
I know. That's amazing. That's
Can you
amazing.
believe we're on our sixth year also, by the
No.
way?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's been a long time, but at the same time, I still feel like we have so much to talk about and cover and
Mm-hmm.
spread this positivity and this awesomeness that we're doing and helping people find queer media.
Yeah,
I think it's good. So we're going to keep doing this until we can't.
I agree. I
Yay.
agree.
So that's my news. What say you? What good news do you have?
Okay, I have one bad, one good. And even the bad is
Oh,
like it's bearable. But do you remember how in Calgary last year there was this like massive water main break and we were
oh
in
yes.
bad shape? Yeah, we had another one. So
Oh,
it's back to the like use as little water as possible, take
hmm.
shorter showers, fewer showers, run your laundry or your dishwasher when it's full. Try not to flush if you don't need to. But what was weird is I don't think I knew what was happening for probably 3 or 4 days into it.
Hmm.
I think the first time they sent an alert out on our phones, but they didn't do it this time. And so there's been like, we have a new mayor who just gives updates via social media. So hopefully by the time this episode goes up, it'll be fixed. When I talked to my aunt yesterday, I get my Calgary news on my weekly calls with my aunt, who's like, I was watching the news and they said that because I don't watch the news. I don't want to know. She also keeps me up to date on all the terrible stuff that my premier does. Premiers are like governors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll
Mm-hmm.
also ask her sometimes, hey, what did Danielle Smith do lately? What dumb thing did she do that I need to know about? So it's great. And she said, yeah, it's supposed to be fixed within the next few days. So fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. If it happens again, hopefully not. But the good news is that
Mm.
since we spoke,
Yes.
we brought the puppy home. Hilariously,
Yes.
yesterday I got a message from Virginia Black voting on the because I talked about some of the possible names for the
Right.
puppy on the last episode. And she had an opinion, and what is even better is she was right about the name that we chose. So our little black floofy puppy is named Henry Rollins.
Yay.
Neil went with our oldest to pick him up while, our youngest and I stayed home to tire out our older dog so that it would be a better first meeting. And when they got in, my oldest said, I think his name is Henry. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
And then he was spicy with it a day or two. And it was like, you know what? I think it's Henry Rollins. It's not just Henry, it's
It's
Henry
the
Rollins.
whole name,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to name him after the punk artist because this dog
Is a punk,
was a punk.
spicy punk.
He really is. He's so
He's so
spicy.
sweet.
I forgot what puppies are like. He's so
Yeah.
sweet sometimes. Like when he's chill and he naps on you, and he hasn't been weighed in about a week. But when he was weighed by our vet, he was 5 pounds. So
Baby.
he's going to be a very little guy. But it is so funny to see him and Ember play because he is fearless. She is 4 times his size and he will leap on her and he will try it and try it. He's also not afraid of any of us if we're holding him up, say. It's very easy to like air jail little dogs, right? You just like pick them up
Yeah,
and
I
hold them
picked him
up and they
up
can't
to
do
stop it.
anything.
Right.
And he'll like snarl and turn his head around to bite at your wrist. And so my
Oh
nickname for
no.
him is Demon Baby because I forgot that puppies are all demon
They
babies
are.
or baby demons, however you want to say it.
They are. They are.
But he's cute as hell and he's really popular in
He is
meetings
very
because I do
sweet.
sometimes bring him to because I work from home on Zoom, so I'll occasionally bring him to a meeting if I need to or if I want to sometimes.
You need to get one of those like baby things and just put him up front, on your
Yeah, like a
little
baby
baby
Bjorn.
holder. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
tempting.
That
So
would be
tempting.
great.
He
Like
would fit.
you could say anything you wanted to, nobody would care because they would be looking at Henry.
Oh, absolutely. He has a sweet side. I have to remind myself sometimes because there are days where he'll be in like asshole mode for like an hour or two. And I'm like, how? You're so little. How have you not run out of energy yet? And
Puppies.
and it's also hilarious because he's so little. He can't jump on the couch. He can jump off if he's on it, but he can't jump on. And so when Ember's done with him, our other
Oh
dog,
yeah.
she's like, bye, fucker, and just jumps on the couch.
If she could flip him off, she would.
Oh, 100%. Like a good big sister.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, Chris, what have you been watching or reading recently?
So I have been watching a lot of American football because it's the playoffs and I'm in it for the money since my team ended up being trash. So we did not make the playoffs. So I have been watching the playoffs and I have been betting on the playoffs. So that's been
Ooh,
fun. Yeah. And I started on Netflix, I started Stephen King's 11/22/63 series. Like it's
okay.
from 2018, I think, but then they grabbed it and they're airing it now.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the girls I work with gave away the ending.
What?
Like, what the fuck, Lynn? What?
Rude.
Yeah, so I stopped watching. So then I told her, you're the reason why I stopped watching it. And she's like, no, I challenge you to finish it. I'm like, yeah, that's not how that works. Like, that's not how that works. So, no.
Was it a big twist too?
I mean, I don't know the exact details, but I
Mm-hmm.
know what I know. And so
Which is too much.
I know too much. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
one of those when somebody spoils a book or a movie, you just don't want to read it or watch it because you know what happens. And then you're like, ugh, like, why do I want to do that?
Yeah. I had somebody before I saw it, I had somebody spoil The Sixth Sense. And I gotta tell you,
Ah,
when you
man.
don't know the twist for The Sixth Sense, and I under like at this point, like it's been what,
Oh,
25
yeah,
years, so whatever.
exactly.
But like when you try to watch that movie and you know the
Yeah.
twist,
Hmm.
it's really boring.
Hmm.
Like it was a really, really boring movie. I was like, oh, can we go?
It was one of the movies that I clapped. I laughed because I'm that person. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
can't fool me. No,
Yeah.
I'm too smart for that. And that got
Mm-hmm.
me. That guy, I wasn't even thinking it. It wasn't in my head
Yeah.
at all. So I just laughed because I'm like,
Yeah.
they got me like that. Very few movies have ever done that, but yeah, it got me. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, also, The Traitors started again.
Ooh. Anyone interesting on this season?
First of all, I'd like to say it's still queer. Yay. Very queer.
Good.
And so Taylor Swift's future mother-in-law, Mama Kelsey,
What?
was on. So Travis
What?
Jason's mom was on. Yeah. So she's on the on this season. So it's kind of fun. There's a lot of housewives and
Mm-hmm.
some survivor people. So they call the housewives and the gamers.
Mm.
And I was like, gamers? Because I'm thinking gamers, Nintendo Switch, all that. But they're talking like games like Big Brother, reality shows, like
Oh, yeah, okay.
Survivor, all of those kind of gaming. So they call
Mm-hmm.
them gamers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's somebody from The Bachelor, like there's that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I like it. They dropped the first three episodes, just to kind of tease you and like
Mm-hmm.
because nobody can do the weeklies. It's so hard to do weeklies anymore.
Yeah.
But when they feed you a bunch at once and then you're just like nibbling every week, that's good. So they did it just right. So I think it's on Tuesdays or Thursdays. So I'm very excited that that's back because that's very entertaining.
Nice.
So that's about it. What about you? What have you been reading and or watching?
So many things. Okay, so Canada's Drag Race season 6 almost over. By the time
Mm,
this goes up, the finale will be up. It's actually really good this season. The production value, of course, is not as high as it is for the
all right.
main, like RuPaul's Drag Race, but it's being made by Bell Media in Canada. It's not being made by like Paramount Plus or
Right.
MTV or
Right.
VH1, like who have all been making it. So it's kind of more like back in the old logo TV days. But the queens have been really good this season, and some of the challenges
Nice.
have been really, really interesting this season. They brought back one from last season too, where they did a design challenge. And like there's always design challenges in all the drag races,
Mm.
but it's one where they're not designing for themselves to wear, they're designing for the host to wear.
Oh, damn.
Right? Like it's a really,
That's
really
cool.
cool idea. And it's been a fabulous season. I think it's the best season of Canada's Drag Race so
Nice.
far. So I'm a little sad it's almost over, but I didn't
Oh,
have to stay sad for long because season 18 of RuPaul's Drag Race is back. It is
nice.
so good so far. I've seen 2 episodes. I am loving this batch of queens. And honestly, like I don't think there's anyone bad in the group.
Hmm.
Not that anyone's ever like bad, but like I have no idea who's going to be in the top 4.
Oh,
It could be
nice.
literally anyone. I
Nice.
cannot make any predictions. They had Cardi B was the guest judge on the first
Hmm.
episode. She's a good judge. She did
Really?
not pull her punches. That was very fun. The other thing that I thought was super interesting is there's something like 5 or 6 queens from Florida this season. And I kind of wonder if it's a bit of a fuck you to the Florida government for
Oh,
how hard they've
maybe.
been going after drag queens. I don't know.
Maybe.
I can't prove it. And possibly there have been
It's a good
interviews
theory.
with producers that said it, but yeah, like I'm kind of hoping that's what they've said. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna say that drag isn't welcome in Florida. Guess what? We're gonna spotlight what drag queens are doing from there.
Nice.
So just it's I think it's on track to be a fabulous season. I'm very excited about it. Then in terms of also on TV, so I've started a rewatch of The Good
Hmm.
Place
Hmm.
because my 14-year-old wanted to watch it, and it is so fun rewatching it with somebody who's never seen it before. Did you watch
Hmm.
it?
I started it during COVID, and then, when I get all tangled up in
Sure.
like that whole we're gonna all die and this is the end of everything. I tend to not watch television, and so sadly,
Mhm.
I started it. I probably got through half the first season, so I would like to go back to it. It's one of those I always forget. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I really wanted to see that series.
It was pretty funny to see my kid's reaction. So there's this character that gets introduced as a Taiwanese monk who never
Okay,
speaks. And it turns out,
I haven't gotten there yet.
so he can speak.
Okay, all right.
And when he does, watching my kid, like the huge gasp when the oh my God, what the was so fun. And there's a twist at the end of the first season.
Don't tell me.
No, I'm not going to. I don't want to ruin it for you, but people who've seen it know what I'm talking about. And I thought, well, the reaction to the other twist was so good that this should be
Oh, mhm.
a lot of fun. It blew their mind so hard that there was actually almost no visible reaction. And I was like, what happened? And I talked to them about it, and they're like, I don't actually have any words. And I was like, oh, this is
Wow.
fun. So we're almost halfway through the second season now. There's 4
Okay.
seasons, and the seasons aren't that long. So like it is like it's the 22-minute sitcom format.
Oh, okay.
But I
Yeah, I
think
should
it's
be able
only
to
12 or
bang that
13
out.
episodes a
Yeah.
season.
That sounds like a long weekend for me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like, oh, the comedy is so good in it. The timing for some of them is excellent. It's interesting watching it again and seeing all the people and trying to see, like, okay, who's my favorite? And like, honestly, I
Yeah.
think Darcy Carden is so good and so versatile. Just in this
Nice.
series alone shows so much versatility.
That's a good cast. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I have to remember that
Hmm.
because now I have finished everything that I was watching, and somebody actually recommended his and hers. So, or his, I think something like that. So I'll have to look into that. But I'll
Hmm.
keep the good place in mind too, because I always forget until you start talking about it. And I'm like, dang
Hmm.
it, Fort,
I
I
know, I
need to
love
watch
it. What's also kind of fun is that now my kid thinks I have good taste in sitcoms, and so we're gonna watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine after
I love
this.
that. Do you know that that is still my ringtone?
No.
I haven't changed it yet. It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine if somebody calls me if I don't have the silence. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Isn't that
That's
funny?
very fun. So
I
yeah, I'm
love
thinking
that.
through some of the other like it's kind of like it. Well, if you like that and you like that, then I think
Right.
maybe like Parks and Rec or the early seasons of Arrested Development before they brought it back or Community. Like there's some really good
Mm,
choices from before. So
nice.
we watched with our friends Amanda and Tanya, we watched a Japanese gay romance film called Ten Dance.
Okay.
I think Neil liked it more than I did. It was good, but I got mad at the end. It's
Ah,
not a bad ending. It's not an
okay.
unhappy ending. I
Okay.
was like, but why not show this kind of thing? And so it's these two competitive dancers. One of
Okay.
them does ballroom dancing. The other one does Latin style dancing.
Ooh.
They both want to get to this competition called the 10 dance, where you basically have to do, now I'm trying to remember, is it 10 or is it 20 numbers? But like you have to be able to do both styles of dance.
I'm gonna
And
go with
so they're
10.
going to teach each other. And of course, the ballroom dancer is more serious, more quiet, more rigid,
Oh yeah.
very structured, very, this is exactly how we do it. The Latin style dancer is more of a, he's more of a bad boy. He's more laid back. He likes to party. And they kind of learn and they fall for each other. And they actually, like,
Hmm.
there is actual kissing between them. Mm-hmm.
Ah, wow.
Mm-hmm. So I did have a good time with it. It was good. I don't feel like I know enough to responsibly review it. So I'm mostly just saying like it's out there, check it out. It's a good time. It's on Netflix. That's where we
Oh,
saw it.
cool. Nice.
And then I played Baldur's Gate 3 again. Was it not enough that I played it twice before? No. And I did another sapphic run. I played as Shadowheart, romancing Lae'zel, because I had romanced Shadowheart on a different run. I wanted to see how it changed the game. None of this is going to make sense to you. So I'm just saying this for the people listening who know about this game. But I wanted to see, does it change Shadowheart's story if you play as her? What does change is there's all these incidents where her hand flares up and it's like, what the fuck is happening? You get to see what's happening, which is very cool. It's like she has these memories almost like come to her mind, like something is happening with that. So you actually know what that is. And then I chose to romance Lae'zel because I hated her in the other playthroughs. I would
All
never
right.
take her when I'm running around doing missions, killing people, doing whatever. And I actually think it might be the best romance of the game.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
It's
Nice.
very interesting because the way it starts with her is like there's this sort of big party scene at the end of the first act, and she comes and propositions you. And so when she had done that before, I was like, "What? You're a bitch. Why are we? What? I don't like you. Why are we doing this? What is happening?" And this time I rolled with it, and it goes from this like, I'm not interested in romance. I'm not interested in loving anybody. I just want sex. Fine, I'll be your fuck buddy. Okay, that's fine. All the way to this like really beautiful, emotional
Wow.
change. It's so good. Well worth it. It was well worth putting in another 90 hours to that game. Anyway, Chris, what's your official
Yes.
recommendation this week?
So my official recommendation is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Hmm. So look, we all know that I love The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Like I snot cried during that whole thing.
Hmm.
The three times I listened to it on Audible, what I got from a Secret Santa this year from work was this book, Atmosphere. And
Mm.
I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that sounds cool. So let me read you the synopsis. And we're going to have so much fun with this. It's going to sound familiar. Atmosphere is a 2025 historical fiction novel by Taylor Jenkins Reid set in the 1980s NASA space shuttle.
Nope. Sorry, what? 1980s historical? Fucking rude,
Right,
frankly.
I know,
That's
right?
rude.
Following astrophysicist Joan Goodwin as she trains to become one of the first female astronauts and navigates a secret romance with fellow astronaut Vanessa Ford, all while dealing with personal challenges and a looming space disaster. Okay, so that kind of gives a lot away. But,
Hmm.
like, do you remember? I'm sure you do because we do this podcast. I recommended Sally, the documentary about
I
Sally
do
Ride,
remember.
and that wasn't that long ago.
No.
Okay. So, because I had watched the documentary, I remembered that everything that Sally had to go through just to become an
Hmm.
astronaut. And this is like in the late 70s, NASA did a call out for women to apply. So, a very small group of women got picked to go through the training for years and eventually go to space. And so, reading this book, it felt like the author was filling in the emotional gaps of the documentary.
Mm. Hmm.
It just filled in the gaps for me. I don't want to say it was very similar. I mean, it does sound like Sally's experience, more or less, with the exception of not falling in love with another astronaut, but falling in love with somebody else and trying to keep everything a secret to keep the career, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So the documentary, also had the struggles of having, like I just said, like having a relationship with another woman in a male dominated field and people warning them, you can't have, you cannot be gay in this.
Hmm.
This is all about being the best of the best, literally. Like you can't have a criminal record, you can't have any sort of sexual, well, I don't even know what the word is, but you're not supposed
Anything. Agency,
anything. Yes,
probably.
right. So that kind of is the story of Sally, and it's also very much the story of this. So one thing that I do with books is when things get very technical, I'll skim
Yeah.
because I'm in it for the romance or I'm in it
Yep.
for the story or whatever. But because I had that background of seeing Sally, like I knew everything that was going on. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that too. So I was really into the book the whole way. Like every word I read. I didn't skip.
Nice.
I didn't stay out of anything. Like give me the romance, but also now I know like how the mechanics of a robotic arm work, when you're in the space shuttle and you're trying to do something out in space. Like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
I'm so glad. For the people who haven't read this book, I think it might be fun to watch Sally, the documentary, and then read this book. It worked for
Hmm.
me. Whether or not it works for other people, I don't know, but it really did help fill in the gaps. So let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
So Joan is very smart. Like they said, she's actually an associate astrophysics professor. She keeps her emotions very close to her chest. She doesn't like to rock the boat. She's kind of a wallflower. And she's very smart, and her sister is a total dick. But her sister, like, they happen to be in the same room, and the commercial comes on where NASA says, hey, if you're a woman and you're smart, apply for the astronaut program. And so her
Hmm.
sister kind of flippantly says, hey, maybe you should do that because you don't have a life anyway. I mean, her sister,
Rude.
I like this, I can't. Like, this sister and I would have gone rounds. Like, just the way that she treated her and talked
Hmm.
to her, it was terrible. Anyway, the one thing that she did was the sister did give Joan a niece, like the perfect kid niece. Loved.
Hmm.
They have the best relationship. Like her niece is her world. And
Hmm.
that is such a sweet relationship to read in the book, even though her mom is a total asshole. Her
Hmm.
mom being
As
Frances.
is often the way.
Right. Yes. And so, it's just a story of like Joan always being there for her niece and trying to help her in any way she can and not really like rocking the boat with her sister, like, and not saying, hey, you're a terrible mom. Why don't
Hmm.
why did you leave your kid outside locked? You left. And why did you leave your kid at school and things like that. Like she doesn't ever call her out,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it's just because, she's just like got this quiet strength and it's like, I don't want to rock the boat. I want this relationship with my niece. And my sister knows that it's so important that she might take it away if I call her out on anything, because people are like that. They're very spiteful sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and her sister just had that, I could take this away from you in no time and, it would just destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to Joan. She's really focused on the stars and she has this really cool philosophy that humans are a part of the stars and everything that make up the stars because we're all made from the same things.
Mm-hmm.
It's very deep and it's kind of like her religion.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful and how she explains it. And I love her. I mean, I love it. I was like, girl, you do you. You believe that. It just made sense, especially for doing that, everything she does. And she knows all the constellations. She knows all the stars, what they're, it's just so smart. And so she
Mm-hmm.
helps even the other astronauts, like, hey, I don't know what I'm looking at. Can you show me where this is in the sky and stuff? So she's very helpful. And that's where she thrives. She shines when she talks about that in her life. So basically, her goal is to be an astronaut, be closer to the stars and the planets, and do something that, she's always maybe wanted to do and learn more about since she's always had such a fascination with space.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is she is, of course, a woman in a man's world.
Yep.
Yep. And she doesn't really connect with the people at first, she doesn't really connect with the people that she works with because she's never really learned to express her feelings and she's never really had a friend before. But she finds her friends and her family at NASA, which is really cool because you think about it, like everybody's a super
Mm-hmm.
nerd and she's finally found her people. So she learns what it's going to take for her to get to space, like what she has to
Mm-hmm.
do and how she has to do it. Couple guys hit on her and she's like, I'm not interested. It's not for me. Like my life is the stars and everything about it. And I don't want to kiss you and don't kiss me again.
Mm-hmm.
When she does kiss a few guys, she's just like, I'm not liking this. Let's not do this again type thing.
Yeah.
It's not till they all go to a strip bar.
Uh-huh.
And so then like something inside of her just like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm gay. Maybe I'm
Mm-hmm.
gay. So this whole thing, there's a thing. Like everything just kind of makes sense then. Like everything snaps into place when she finally realizes who she is and accepts it. So everything ramps up and life is perfect. Everything is going well until it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I will say there are things kind of off about this book.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've read zero reviews on this book. I literally just finished it yesterday and I'm like, I'm going to talk about this. I don't know what people
Yeah.
have said about it, but here are my thoughts. It jumps POV even in the middle of chapters.
Like with no warning?
Like no warning. All of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah, I
now in
don't
this
love head
character's head.
hopping.
So there's head hopping, and then of course it bounces around. It goes from like 1980 to 1984 to 1982 back to 1980.
Mm.
So there's a lot of time jumps in the story.
Is that at least labeled?
Yeah, it does. It will tell you
Okay,
like,
good.
December 29th, 1984. It does tell you certain things,
Yeah, okay.
but sometimes in the middle of the chapter you're like, "Wait, what? What?"
Mm-hmm.
And the punctuation's a little weird, but I don't care. Like rules are
Yeah.
made to be broken, and this
Yep.
doesn't really follow a lot of rules because like this is an incredible writer and she tells a great story. And it's beautiful the way she describes things. And I love this book so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm there for the poetry of mashing up words to like really like pull at the heartstrings. And not
Yeah.
very many writers that I've read do that.
Yeah.
Like a good example that I think who does this in our genre is Anna Burke.
Oh,
For
absolutely.
sure. So I totally thought of her when I read this because, like, oh, yes, these words. This is Anna Burke. This is
Mm-hmm.
the way she would describe things.
Yeah.
I didn't plan to read the synopsis of the book. And actually, I don't think I read the synopsis. I just kind of read this little thing and I shouldn't have read it. I should have just left it alone because I didn't want to ruin anything. Because honestly, like, I did not know, like, who she was going to love, who she was going to fall in love with. I had no idea. No idea
Mm-hmm.
until I got in the story. I actually thought it was somebody else. The whole time I'm thinking she likes this other, or she maybe has feelings. I don't think she knew she had feelings until like she went to this club and everything just like the dam broke.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time I thought she was interested in somebody else. The whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was so blatantly obvious going back through it. I'm like, what am I? Of course. Like all the signs are there. I was trying to force her to go to this other person. Like the whole time I'm like, oh, this person's going to be the one because there's so much emphasis on what a bitch she is. And so I'm thinking, this whole
We
thing.
do love an enemies to lovers,
Yes. So
don't
I'm like, it's
we?
her. It's her. And I'm like, what? No, it's her. So like the whole thing was just like
Nope, some
crazy.
people are just mean.
I know. So there's this one paragraph, but I'm not going to read the paragraph. I'm just going to read the final sentence in this paragraph
Okay.
and kind of see where this is like what she's saying and how she's writing it. So this is from Joan's point of view. She said she had not cut off parts of herself to fit so much as she has learned to make room for somebody other than herself.
Mm.
So I kind of like that. I mean, I
Hmm.
like that she learned to love this way. It wasn't any sacrifice on her part. Like she fell in love and it was like everything all at once type thing.
Yeah.
And I love this. Just there were a lot of deep thoughts and really great language, like I said. So we're gonna talk about the ending, but after everybody reads the book, we're gonna talk about it. Like somebody's gonna send me a message and say, let's talk about the ending of this book.
Okay.
So I have mixed feelings about the ending of this book. I have very mixed feelings. And it's an unusual and abrupt ending. I mean, it's a great ending. It's a good ending. It's not a bad ending. But the ending,
You wanted more.
like I had to run a lap after I read the last two pages. Like literally, it was just like so like my blood pressure was yeah. And then it was like boom, done. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's like me with 10 Dance.
There you go. Okay,
Maybe.
so maybe.
I don't know
Mm,
because I haven't read it, but I've heard it's good.
it is good.
One of my
It
friends
is
at
good.
work said last year, "I read this book. It's amazing. You should read it." And I said, "Okay," and then I forgot.
Yeah, it's good. I still like Evelyn Hugo will always be like anything that this lady
That's such a
writes, Evelyn
special
Hugo,
book.
it really is. And there's a part of me that I wish I would have listened to the audiobook of this instead of reading it
Hmm.
because the audiobook had such a of the seven husbands of Evelyn Hugo, it had such an impact on me.
Yes.
And for me to think about this book all the time, and I really think it was the audiobook, listening to that rather than read.
Hmm.
So I still loved it. And like I said, it so helped that I saw the Sally documentary and I learned so much in that just about how life was during that time for women astronauts, like how hard it was and, why did they do this? Why did they invite women to space? Like what was the reason?
Hmm.
So I have all that background and then I read this book. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. So I didn't want to put it down and I read it in like a day and a half. So
Hmm.
actually, yeah, I read it, yeah, I think 2 nights in a day.
Nice.
Yeah, so
That's fast.
it was good. And it's like 300 pages. It was good. It's very good. So I recommend it. And that is my official recommendation. What about you, Tara? What is yours?
So mine is Greta Gets the Girl by Melissa Marr. I don't know if you remember last year, I recommended a book called Toni and Addie Go Viral about the Victorian history professor, and she
Oh,
has a one
yes.
night stand with an actress, and yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I
So
do remember that.
this one is about Kaylee, who is like her TA, but also has become kind of like a little sister slash close friend, and also her editor because Toni is an author. And so Greta Claiborne is Toni's editor. She's doing very well because she's editing this series. It's selling a lot.
My
It's very
dream.
popular. That's the word I'm looking for. It's this very popular series. It's been adapted for television. So
Nice.
everything at work is doing great. She lives in New York City working in publishing, and that's going great. She is not interested in relationships, though. She was engaged a couple of years prior. Her partner had badgered her to, like, let's move in together. We should get married. Nah, I'm going to cheat on you a bunch and then move out. And so she's like,
Ah,
nope, I'm not doing it. So there's basically like a hookup app called the Sappho's Kiss Society, and it's just for these like casual meetups.
yeah.
And when she's visiting Washington, D.C., she tries to go there because she's also, acquired a book. She's editing for Kaylee. She's editing Kaylee's book, and she says, "Hey, let's meet up." And Kaylee completely blows her off because Kaylee is also on the app under the name Lee.
Ah.
So neither of them knows it, but they have, a hookup at Greta's hotel room. She's using a different name. She's
Wow.
using the name Marie. So like neither of them have any idea that like, hey, you're my book editor. Hey, I'm editing your book. They just know that like the sex is incredible. They think it's going to be one night and that's it.
Haha.
But, maybe that's not the case because Lee has to go to New York for something, which turns out to be Kaylee has to go to New York to meet with, her team at the publishing company. Because this is going to be, it's one of the books that they're making a big bet on that year. It's a sapphic
Mm.
romantasy. And, meets up with Marie, quote unquote, who is actually Greta, meets up with her again. They have this incredible night. They're like, what if we did a friends with benefits thing? Neither of us wants a relationship, but like, we could be friends with benefits, right? Until, of course, Kaylee shows up at the office and their hearts fall out of their buttholes because they're like,
Right. Like,
what? What? Oh my God. And, it's kind of heartbreaking for both of them because, the sex is so
yeah.
good, but they're like, well, maybe we can just be friends. But the other thing that most people don't know is that Kaylee has a lot of secrets, I guess is kind of the best way
Oh.
to put it. She is not in touch with her family. She's changed her name. She has a trust fund that she doesn't use and is supporting herself through, working on a PhD. She has been writing this book. She actually has the second book in the series already written. She teaches, and anytime she's stressed, she goes to the gym. She's ripped as shit because she's stressed all the time. So there's a lot going on kind of for each of these characters. Neither of them has wanted a relationship either ever or in a long time. Now they're really interested in each other and they can't have it. And,
Oh, yeah.
so it's a question of like, well, if it leaks, well, how did Kaylee get the book deal? And can Greta
Oh,
possibly be a
right.
good editor anymore? And then on top of all that, Kaylee's family, who she hasn't talked to in a decade, shows up and tries to say, like, don't publish your book. It's going to
Why?
embarrass the family that you're writing this
Oh,
sapphic book. We'll give you money to kill it. And so, they both have to figure out what do they actually want out of this? Can they do this in a way that works for them? And
hmm.
Kaylee has to decide, she spent the last decade trying to pretend she's not from this like wealthy,
Hmm.
influential, horrible family. Can she actually, accept herself and move on?
Hmm.
That's a lot. That's a lot of story. And also, if it sounds like I'm giving away a lot, I'm not, because that's all from the blurb. I didn't read the blurb, but that's all in there. I was actually really impressed.
That's such a deep blurb. I
I
mean,
know.
150 words is our max for blurb. That is way
Listen,
more than 150 words.
I gotta say, actually, I can tell you how many words it is because I
Oh, let's
copied and
see.
pasted it into my outline. Let's find out. It is. You're right. It's more. It's 236 words.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I appreciated is that it really is like, it's true. Because sometimes I'll read a blurb and then I'll read a book and then I'll think, well, that was a lie. And I did not feel
Oh,
that
yeah.
way about
Mm.
this particular book, which is nice. We see Toni and Addie again. So if you read and enjoyed Toni and Addie Go Viral, we get to see where they're at later on as they're getting ready to get married. And I really enjoyed that. Like, they're not a main
Mm.
focal point or anything like that. But, Toni is one of Kaylee's best friends and really is like a big sister and is lovely. I thought this was a really, really good one night to forever romance. But it was also interesting because often when I read, the one night to forever ones, it's like, okay, we have one night and it's like, oh no, you're my boss. Or, oh no. And I thought it was
Right.
going to be like that, right? It's like, oh no, you're my editor. But it wasn't just one night. It was like one night and then maybe some text, like a little light texting, and then one more night where it's like,
Mm.
oh, we like to talk to each other as well. Maybe there's something here. We still don't want a relationship, but oh no, we have a commercial relationship too. This is a problem. And I thought that was really interesting and worked really well. And, they both have really strong and interesting and important character arcs.
Mm.
With Greta, she got burned really hard by her fiance with the, being pushed into this, like, let's get engaged, let's move in together, let's get engaged,
Hmm.
haha, JK. And also, you see other examples along the way of how, like, her ex had been kind of shitty to her in ways that 2.5 years later still comes up in her reactions and how she expects things. And also, Greta doesn't really have friends because
Mm.
all of her friends were mutuals. And so when they
Ah, I
broke
hate
up,
that.
her ex took all the friends, and she
Right.
always had this almost like a firewall between her work life and her personal life. And so, with this story, she's kind of learning, okay, maybe it is safe to fall in love again, but also maybe I can be open to friendships again, and maybe I can be open to friendships from within the industry, which is great. And I mean, it is normal to make friends at work. That
Right.
can be a thing.
Yes.
That's where a lot of my adult friends came from.
Same.
I appreciated seeing that, but then Kaylee has this whole other, she has to learn how to trust because she completely rebuilt her life when she was 18. Like she was 18 when she walked away from her family, from her old life. And like I said in the blurb, actually, I'll read this. I'll read this one line because I don't typically read from the blurbs, but I think it's
Mm.
worthwhile. So in the blurb, it says, when Kaylee's wealthy and influential family shows up to put a stop to the embarrassment of writing sapphic fiction. And I think with that, even just that one line, you kind of sort of get a sense of what her family is like.
Right.
They're bigots.
Right.
Really, they're rich bigots. They also happen to be rich bigots from North Carolina. Now, is that,
Oh,
fair to
yeah.
this? Obviously, it's not about everybody in North Carolina, but it is about a certain type of Republican profile. Like some of the impacts of this extend to not just how does she let people into her life, she also wants to protect people in her life from her family because these are deep pocketed bigots. These are like real
Mm.
powerful assholes who fund some horrible things and have a lot of influence, and also extends to her relationship sex and this deep need for control that she has there. Like I said, the blurb gets into a lot of what actually happens in the book, but this is where I'm going to say the one content warning for it that it leaves out, and I actually think is really, really critical for people to know. She is a sexual assault survivor. And this also connects to this terrible, bigoted
Damn.
religious family because after she came out, she was assigned a fiance,
Damn.
right? Like this wasn't somebody that she dated and, whatever. No, no, this was her dad saying, you're going to marry this guy. And this guy assaults her. There is no assault on the page. We never actually see that fiance guy in the book, but it's clearly something that she lives with forever and
Mm.
she has been living with for a long time. And, I think seeing a sexual assault survivor as a protagonist in a romance like this, where she's still living with some of the trauma of what she experienced, I actually think the representation is very, very important. It's
Mm.
really well done. I think her journey is really beautifully written. But also, if you don't know going into it that that's happening and that it is kind of in this almost corrective type of assault,
Oh, okay.
I think that could be really jarring and really
Right.
hard for someone to read, especially if, they came from a deeply religious family who never accepted that they're queer. So I think that's an important call out. But for me, like, I really enjoyed this book. I'm glad I read it. It was really nice to revisit characters that I enjoyed before. And I think when I talked about Toni and Addie Go Viral, I talked about how like Toni really ran hot and cold on Addie, and a lot of it was because she was so messed up from her parents' relationship and what they were like. And it was one of those books where I was so thrilled to see in the epilogue, oh, she's going for therapy. This is wonderful. And it was really nice to see they're more settled in. You can see the impact of her doing the work to work on herself, to do some
Mm.
healing, and that they were happy too. So it was great to see them again. It was great to get to
Nice.
know Kaylee better because, like, she was in the first book, but like not very much. So, like, really getting to know who she is and getting to meet Greta and know her was fantastic. And now I'm hoping so there's another character named
Mm.
Emily.
Oh,
Emily is Toni's best friend, and she is also her agent and Kaylee's agent. Selfishly, I'm hoping we get a book for Emily. I
mm.
hope we're not done with this group of characters because I'd really love to see her settled because Emily is wonderful.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'm greedy, so I'm not afraid to say
Right.
it. So yeah, I think if anyone is open to like a really beautiful romance that yes, some of the subject matter is difficult, but it pays off really
Nice.
well. And the ending is really good. I absolutely recommend this one. So it's called Greta
Nice.
Gets the Girl by Melissa Marr.
Yay.
That is all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed it, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe on your podcast app and you will know when we have new episodes. If you have a friend that you think would like the show, and if you think they would be interested in any of what we've recommended, please send them the link, tell them all about it. And if you want to support us, we do have a link in our show notes to our coffee.
Right. And you can find all of our links to social media sites in the show notes. You can also just search for us, or you can email us at podcast@queerlyrecommended.com. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
You know, one of the things I forgot to talk about,
No, what was it?
um, it was when you were talking about RuPaul's Drag Race and you mentioned MTV and VH1, you know, how that
Mm-hmm.
was, you know, where all the money comes from there. Did you know that they're shutting down MTV, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
in different, but do you know how they're shutting it down?
Mm-mm.
They're playing Video Kill the Radio Star for 24 hours. That's how they're shutting down. I'm like, bravo, fucking
Aw,
oh, bravo. I
what a
love
way
that.
to go out.
That exactly. I mean, think about it. That's like that was that's how we grew up. That was
Yeah,
childhood. MTV was, I learned everything from MTV. So
sad.
fuck. At least not here. I turned it on and here we can turn this off. I turned it on
Yep.
MTV. Yeah, it's funny. There's a cat that's like banging the door trying to get in. So hearing
Is
noises,
it
I'm
your
like,
kid?
what is that? It's Orange Kitty, I'm sure.
Hmm.
So anyway,